London, late summer, 1666. The city exhales smoke with every breath. Not from disaster, just from life. Chimneys bleed gray as bakers pull loaves from ovens that have burned since before dawn. Half-timbered houses lean over lanes so narrow, carts scrape the walls. Merchants shout prices, apprentices slip between wheels. And the Thames glitters with hundreds of vessels unloading goods from across the world. This is one of Europe's greatest cities. Over 400,000 people, bursting with ambition, commerce, and timber. Nearly 80% of London is wood, cheap, familiar, deadly. Within a week, a fire will start in a bakery on Pudding Lane. It will consume 13,000 houses, 87 churches, and St. Paul's Cathedral itself. 4/5 of the city will become ash. But right now, the bakers knead dough, merchants count profit. The city simply lives, unaware it is moving through its final week. Today, thanks to advanced AI technology, we can step back into that vanished world by analyzing period engravings, paintings, and eyewitness accounts, especially the diaries of Samuel Pepys and John Evelyn. We've reconstructed what London likely looked like in its final days before the Great Fire. These are not fantasies. They're photorealistic recreations grounded in historical sources, letting us walk streets that disappeared more than 350 years ago. London in 1666 is reborn, but fragile. In 1660, King Charles II returned from exile, ending the Puritan Commonwealth and ushering in the Restoration. Whitehall buzzes with theater, music, and court spectacle, but the city is still bruised. The Great Plague of 1665 killed over 100,000 people. Neighborhoods stand half empty. Sewers run open. Filth sits in gutters, and a dry summer has left the city tinder dry. This is the London we're about to enter, 1 week before everything changes. We begin at the River Thames, looking east toward London Bridge in late August 1666. London's highway, crowded with wherries, merchant vessels, and coal barges from Newcastle, feeding thousands of hearths. London Bridge dominates the view. Completed in 1209, it's the only bridge across the Thames. But it isn't just a bridge, it's a street suspended above water. Nearly 200 buildings crowd its span, shops below, living quarters above, timber structures leaning precariously over the river. At the southern end, the heads of executed traitors sit on pikes, a blunt reminder of royal power. At the northern end, the bridge pours directly into the city, ruled not by the king, but by the Lord Mayor and guilds. The Thames is lifeline and sewer. Raw sewage drains into it, tanneries dump waste, slaughterhouses pour blood and offal. In late summer heat, the stench is thick, yet Londoners still draw drinking water from this river, often through lead pipes. In a week, the Thames becomes a barrier and a refuge, boats packed with people watching their city burn. Rising above crowded rooftops stands Old St. Paul's, England's greatest church, one of Europe's great Gothic structures. Construction began in 1087. By 1666, it stretches over 580 feet, once crowned by a spire that reached 489 feet. But the spire is gone. Lightning struck in 1561, and it was never rebuilt. Now the cathedral stands truncated and tired, stones crumbling, rain creeping through gaps. During the Commonwealth, Puritan soldiers stabled horses inside. Since the Restoration, repairs are discussed but never truly done. Outside, St. Paul's churchyard is a marketplace. Booksellers set up stalls against holy walls. Lawyers meet clients inside, voices echoing under vaults. Servants cut through the nave like it's a public corridor. St. Paul's sits high, surrounded by a dense medieval warren. Timber-framed buildings packed impossibly tight, waiting for a spark. On September 4th, flames will reach it. The lead roof will melt and pour like molten river. Stones will crack and burst from heat. When the ruins cool, Old St. Paul's will be gone, clearing the path for Christopher Wren and the cathedral we know today. Now we step into the Royal Exchange, London's commercial nerve center. Built by Sir Thomas Gresham in 1571, it is the city's symbol of wealth independent of the crown. In the courtyard, merchants from across Europe shout prices and strike deals. Wool traders, Dutch financiers, Italian silk merchants, East India agents arranging spices from the Moluccas. They trade goods, bills of exchange, shares in voyages, insurance against shipwreck and piracy. Above, galleries hold over 100 shops selling luxury items, gloves, books, fine fabrics, where fashionable London comes to see and be seen. This is the power of the city merchants, men who answer to the Lord Mayor. Charles II needs their loans. They use that leverage. Tension simmers. Whitehall's French tastes and suspected Catholic sympathies versus the city's Protestant, practical worldview. And the building itself, timber and plaster, beautiful, prosperous, vulnerable. On September 3rd, fire will reach the exchange and erase it in hours, taking records and contracts with it. We move to Cheapside, London's Great Market Street, running east-west through the medieval core. Shops line both sides, but the goldsmiths dominate, windows glittering with plate and jewelry. They are not just retailers, they are London's closest thing to banks. Merchants deposit gold, receive paper receipts, and those receipts begin to circulate like money. Some goldsmiths lend deposits at interest, the early mechanics of modern finance, born inside timber-framed storefronts. Above the shops, rooms stack upward. Each floor juts out farther, until buildings nearly meet overhead, creating twilight even at noon. Downside alleys, the poor crowd into sunless courtyards, 10 to a room. The street is controlled chaos, carts grinding forward, apprentices shouting, pickpockets working crowds. Manure and waste fill the central gutter. Noise is constant, wheels, cries, hammers on iron. In a week, fire will run down Cheapside faster than a man can sprint. Goldsmith shops will burn. Molten silver will pool in cellars. Merchants will dig through cooling rubble for weeks, searching for what used to be wealth. At the eastern edge stands the Tower of London, fortress and warning. The White Tower began in 1078 under William the Conqueror. By 1666, it is a sprawling stronghold with walls and moat. It is many things: a prison for political enemies, the Royal Mint, an armory stocked with weapons and gunpowder, and even a menagerie, exotic animals displayed as proof of England's reach. It also guards the crown jewels, new regalia commissioned for Charles II's coronation in 1661, after Parliament destroyed much of the old set during the Commonwealth. Outside the tower, the East End is rough. Sailors, dock workers, criminals in taverns and brothels. Disease hit hard here during the plague. But the tower is stone, Kentish ragstone, while the city is timber. When the fire comes, it will stop just short of these walls. Soldiers under the Duke of York will blow up houses with gunpowder to create fire breaks. The tower will survive. And now, the wind is beginning to shift. West of the city sprawls Whitehall Palace, the heart of Restoration power. It isn't one building, but a chaotic complex of over 1,500 rooms, the largest palace in Europe. Wings and corridors added over centuries. Charles II's court is a world away from Puritan austerity. Music, dancing, theater. Mistresses openly influence politics. Barbara Palmer, Countess of Castlemaine, among the most powerful. But danger simmers beneath glamour. Charles has no legitimate heir. His brother James, Duke of York, is next. And openly Catholic in a Protestant nation that remembers religious violence. Whitehall's banqueting house, designed by Inigo Jones, completed 1622, is stone, classical, Italianate. Its ceiling was painted by Rubens. It is also where Charles I walked to his execution in 1649. Charles II dines beneath those same painted panels, surrounded by luxury, and haunted by the memory that power can vanish overnight. Just south stands Westminster Abbey, Coronation Church, and Royal Tomb. Founded in 960, rebuilt in Gothic grandeur from 1245, it embodies legitimacy and continuity. Charles II was crowned here on April 23, 1661, in a ceremony designed to erase the Commonwealth and restore divine monarchy through spectacle. Kings lie in stone. Queens rest beneath carved canopies. Elizabeth I lies near Mary I. England's memory is built into these walls. But unlike the Timber City, the Abbey is stone. Caen limestone and Reigate stone. When fire sweeps west, it will exhaust itself before reaching here. the Abbey will stand untouched while the medieval commercial city collapses into ash. Back in the city, we enter Guildhall, built in 1411, the seat of London's civic government and the pride of merchant power. Here, aldermen and councilmen govern. Here, the Lord Mayor is elected. Here, banquets celebrate independence. In 1666, the Lord Mayor is Sir Thomas Bloodworth, a wealthy wine merchant. The city elects leaders from tradesmen, not nobles, ancient privileges fiercely protected. The crown needs city money. The city resists crown interference. Merchants prefer trade over war. Guildhall's Great Hall is vast, its timber roof held by massive oak beams. Below, a stone crypt dating to the 1270s. And here comes the irony. In a few days, Bloodworth will be woken with news of flames near London Bridge. He will dismiss it as minor. He will delay. That delay will become part of London's legend. It's late August 1666. The exact day matters less than the feeling. Ordinary life. The summer has been dangerously dry. Timber is parched. Wells are low. But London has small fires all the time, and parishes usually smother them with buckets and stubbornness. Bakeries along the docks run continuously, supplying ship's biscuit for the Royal Navy. In Pudding Lane, Thomas Farriner's bakery has worked for years without incident. Ovens are raked nightly, but embers can smolder deep inside brickwork. The streets remain crowded. Taverns fill with sailors spending wages. Playhouses perform restoration comedies, bawdy, witty, proud of freedom after Puritan rule. In his diary, Pepys notes ordinary things. Books purchased, church attended, accounts managed. The city breathes routine. Firefighting equipment is primitive. Leather buckets, hand pumps, long hooks. The true defense is fire breaks, demolishing buildings to stop the spread. But demolition requires authority, and property owners resist until it's too late. No one imagines a fire that can take the whole city. It is inconceivable. Yet every condition is already in place. Timber and thatch packed tight in medieval lanes, streets sometimes only 6 feet wide, overhanging floors that almost touch. Laws exist, but enforcement fails. A dry city. A strong east wind that will turn streets into wind tunnels. Water that cannot meet the crisis. The new river helps wealthier districts. Poorer parishes rely on the Thames and shallow wells. And human failure. Hesitation, delayed demolition, the absence of coordinated response. Charles II will eventually take control. The Duke of York will coordinate soldiers. Gunpowder will be used to create fire breaks. But in the critical first hours, London will lose time. And fire feeds on time. Sunday night settles with strange stillness. The heat lingers. Families attend evening prayer. Taverns fill. Across the city, hearths are banked low, not extinguished, just damped down. But commercial ovens stay hot. Warehouses along the Thames hold tar, pitch, rope, timber, oil, even gunpowder. Lanterns sway above barrels. The wind strengthens from the east, slipping through lanes between houses that lean like conspirators. Sparks travel farther. No one notices. Small fires are background noise in London. In Pudding Lane, Farriner's bakery closes for the night. The ovens are raked. Apprentices sleep above. Deep in the oven walls, unseen embers continue to smolder. No alarm is raised. London falls asleep. The medieval city has one night left. We've walked through a city that no longer exists. The London we've seen, timber-built, crowded, alive with commerce, will be gone within days. Starting before dawn on September 2nd, 1666, a fire will rage out of control, consuming 13,000 houses, 87 parish churches, guild halls, the Royal Exchange, and St. Paul's itself. Nearly 80% of the ancient city will burn. Only 6 deaths were officially recorded, though the true number was likely higher. Over 100,000 people will be left homeless, camping outside the walls, lives reduced to ash. But London will rebuild. Brick and stone will replace timber. Building codes will be enforced. Streets will widen. Fire insurance will emerge. A new St. Paul's will rise from Wren's plans. The Great Fire destroyed a city built over centuries, but it could not destroy London's stubborn refusal to disappear. If you enjoyed this journey, tell us in the comments which city and era you want us to reconstruct next. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the past.